Hello YouTube, my name is Shirria. This is the Shirria Mac channel where I document my journey towards debt freedom in hopes to build wealth, retire early, or become work independent as a married woman paying debt alone. If you are new here, thank you so very much for clicking on this video. And if you are a returning viewer or subscriber, thank you so very much for coming back. If you're new and you're a viewer but not yet a subscriber, please consider subscribing to follow my journey towards eliminating 6 figures worth of debt as a married woman currently paying debt alone. In today's video, it is time for my monthly mortgage update. If you are new here, I do have a goal to eliminate my mortgage. I am currently at the moment, my current target debt is my Best Buy credit card. I am very confident that I will have that paid off on or before November 16th. Following that are my student loans, but I go back and forth between paying my mortgage off or paying my student loans. And I found this great balance where I do continue to focus primarily on my student loans, and then I go in and I zero out the balance after my mortgage principal payment has been made. So this is only my third video in this series. I would encourage you to go back to the very first video where I discussed the 4 passive ways I am paying down my mortgage, and then follow that up with my my first actual mortgage update, or maybe it's my second, but this is definitely my third mortgage video. So we will get right into it. So I do have you guys on my screen. I did download, I was informed about this amortization schedule by Debt Free D, and I do use it to track some of my progress, as well as another visual, I share that on my Instagram page, and then I also color off my amortization, my actual printed out amortization schedule from when we refinanced our loan. So if you are new here, we did refinance the mortgage from a 30-year to a 15-year in 2020. And although it is on a 15-year, I would love to have it paid off in 10 years, more than 15 years. But 10 years would be ideal. Actually, next year would be great, but I'm not quite there yet. So as you can see, we are in the month of October, and I did share in my last video that my numbers were a little bit off, and Debt Free D did share the information that sometimes it does make a difference when you depending on where you put the payment. So I do think that the mortgage I did actually make these principal mortgage payments in the month of October, but it was credited towards the November payment simply because of how I get paid in those months where I get paid 3 times a year. It technically boosted or accelerated my payments times 1. And so by the time both payments came out in October, at the end of October, by the time my October 29th payment came out, that was the second payment for November. That completed the payments for November. I did go in and it did decrease my balance from I started October with $101,400. My payment went down to as you can see here, this is like my account summary. So my payment went from, on October 26th, it looks like it went from $101,400 down to $188,057. Then this additional principal came out because my payment is $1,003, but I pay $1,020. So that leaves an overage of $1,656. Once that was applied, it took my mortgage down to $872,001. Of course, my county taxes came out, which I think is ridiculous, but for where I live, but whatever. And so once all of those came out, I went in and I made a $72. I made a $73 payment, and you can see that 7201 went towards the mortgage principal to bring it to an even $800,000, and then 99 cents went towards my escrow. And so those are the two things that I am doing. I do take the minimum to bring it down to the nearest hundred, and then to round it up to make it an even dollar amount, I distribute any extra change to my escrow balance. And I think that is helpful because I have seen quite a few YouTubers talking about how they have been in escrow shortage and their mortgage has increased. So I do attribute a small amount towards my escrow balance. And so if we go back to my actual we go back to my actual amortization schedule, and we go to the month of November. We put in this balance, so 7201 plus 1656 brings me to an escrow balance of, extra principal payment of 8857. We put that in here, and we see that that takes my actual principal payment up to $601.35, and that brings my balance down to $100,175. But it is actually, we know that that is not correct because the actual balance is $800 even. Again, I'm not quite sure why the numbers are not matching up. I did download this tracker late, and it was kind of difficult to see all the payments, to track the payments that I made on my actual balances. And so I believe that these numbers are a bit off. But, that's fine with me. My ultimate goal is to have my mortgage at or under $100,000 by January 1st, 2022. And I feel very confident that I'm going to meet that goal. That means my mortgage has been decreased down to 174 payments. I have made total extra payments of $3,259.57. Although, again, these numbers are not accurate, that it is a good estimate. And I have decreased my total interest by $21,464.80. So I feel like that is good. That is great progress, actually. So now we will go over to my amortization schedule, where I actually color in or highlight my amortization numbers. So, all right. So this is my amortization schedule that was provided when we did refinance our home. And so as you can see, we are actually in the payments for 2022. And we can color off one line, which would be April 2022's payment. And so I'm feeling that by the time, this is where I thought we would be by the end of 2021. But it looks like we still have two more. Well, no, this was November's payment. So December's payment will come out in this Tuesday and then the next Tuesday. So that would be December's, and then so that should take us here, and then they will continue to draft. And so the two payments that I do make in December should maybe be principal payments, or maybe I don't know how Wells Fargo will do that. But I feel like because we do have 2 more months of payment, we have 2 more months where they will draft payments, but I think that the payments they take for November will actually be for December. I should end up at or around between these two. So I feel like I will be meeting my goal, and we will have ended the year half a year ahead for 2022. So if we end the year around here, we should have paid up until June 2022. So that is very exciting. Again, I like to do this, although I am not making major progress on my mortgage at the moment, and that's not my focus. I do like to continue to see the progress I'm able to make. It does provide hope that I will be able to meet my goal of having my home paid off. I honestly I would rather have my home paid off than my student loans gone, but I know that should something happen, I feel like the mortgage, Wells Fargo will work with us to keep our home or to keep our loan, more than the student loans will, if that makes sense. But that may not necessarily be true. And that is based off the fact that I did go without paying my mortgage from 2014 to 2015. And I still am in my home. So that is where that feeling comes from. But ideally, I would love to be mortgage free. I would love to have my primary residence paid off and secured in the instance that either one of us just didn't want to take a gap year, want to take a sabbatical, cannot work, will not work, or whatever, just want to take a break and focus on ourselves. That would be so much more possible if we did not have the mortgage, because the mortgage is the biggest chunk of our income, sitting at $1,020 or $1,003. So that is it for my mortgage update for November or October, one of them. If you have not already subscribed, please consider subscribing to follow my journey towards eliminating 6 figures worth of debt, currently as a married woman paying debt alone. And do remember that the debt-free journey is indeed a journey, not a destination.